Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. I hope everybody's having an excellent day. I'm currently in my neighbor's spot, petting her cat and such. Her cat is being a little bit rambunctious and such because I don't think he's gotten a lot of love. Well, we've been coming over. Like, me and my roommate have been coming over. Pretty reg, like every day. But he's just like, he's a lover boy. And you can hear him right now. Hello. Hello. So, yeah, that's what I'm currently, there's a change in location. And I'm currently trying to speak to y'all while the cat is putting his face directly in my face. He's cute, though. His name is Pico, of Mirandola origin. That's why my neighbor named her that. Oh, and he's saying hello to the microphone as well. Wow, that was a lot of cat hair that I just got on my mouth, but that's okay. So I'm here with Pico de Mirandola. If you guys remember, from last pod, I could not distinguish whether he or Leibniz was the one who was saying something about how God is in every single, atom or monad. But yeah, that's, anyways, all that to say, I'm in a different spot, and it's fun, and Pico's here, and I'm just gonna record a quick little pod, maybe a long pod, and we're just gonna keep here. Yeah. Anyways, so, what I really wanted to come on here and talk about, for today, of course, is the problem that Me Too has kind of, generated for women themselves, okay? So, if you guys have heard any Ivy Wolk discussion of Me Too and such, then, and Dasha Nekrasova and whatever, anything like that, then you would know, kind of where they stand on it. I agree with a lot of that. It has pussified men to a ridiculous degree, to a degree that I don't think is healthy. But then again, nobody's going out these days, as they say, so it's kind of it's a wide-ranging problem, whatever, And so, there's all that, right? It's pussified men, it's made men scared to, even want to be in a relationship or go up to you or anything like that, right? And so now everybody's pushed to dating apps, and, also women, you can say, well, women should make the first move, then, we can radically restructure, how we interact with each other, and, we can make it so that the ball is in the woman's court, but I just, that seems like a very, oh, actually, you guys have to fix the problem for us, It's, just another one of those, and that's kind of, lame as hell for me, personally, I just think that's lame, right? So, that's kind of my view of the situation, that's my read, but, anyways, here's another sort of issue that I personally have with the Me Tooification of popular culture and post-Me Too culture or whatever. Specifically for women, there's this idea that you have to always be very, very supportive of other women, right? Which is obviously a good thing, right? You can't be oh yeah, actually women supporting women, even though that's such a gay ass thing to say, oh my god. It hasn't done anything particularly bad for women as a whole, except for make as we'll see, women who don't fit that, or who misread things or whatever, they get labeled a pick-me, and then it's no fun for anybody, right? Because then you shut down the conversation before it's even begun. And so, speaking of shutting down the conversation before it's even begun, The other thing that happens, specifically because of women's, like, gossiping networks and stuff like that, is that, if a woman says to you that a man made her, like, uncomfortable, whether that be, like, real, or if it was just imagined, or, like, whatever happened, if a woman just says, oh, I got bad vibes from him, or, anything of the sort, you as the other woman in that situation are almost obliged and have this duty to respect that woman's read of the situation and not interrogate it further. So, like, and then, therefore, the man in this whatever situation, even if you perhaps liked him or you wanted to get to know him or whatever, he's shut down before he has a chance to speak to you, or if he has been speaking to you, or you guys have been in conversation, now suddenly you feel like if you continue to talk to this person, then you will get, treated differently by your female peers, right? Or like everybody will see you as a pick-me or something like that. And that's obviously like not great, right? And that's kind of my whole read of like a lot of the post-Me Too culture. Like, it shuts down like any conversations that you could have with men, and it kind of makes it reinforces this kind of like gender war, right? Where, okay, this cat is sitting on me so strangely. I have my knees up and he's just like laying in between my knees. Anyways, he's like long. At any rate, right? So that's like the whole thing is like you are eliminating potential people that you may know, and so like that means that other people in your circle know them, and like, if it's more than one person who's saying that, then that's saying something. But if it's one person who has just like relayed the information to everybody else in that one group, that's when I kind of feel like, maybe we should have like a second evaluation of this person, right? All that to say, anyways, so like, for example, I was at a 1 month long intensive language camp, right? And I was really interested in this one person. Now, he was awful for like other reasons, and also like I'm not very assertive, so like there was also that. But like the whole thing was that like a lot of the women were all coming out and like fucking cold warring the hell out of this man. Like they were like, yeah, but like he's been weird and he's in that one house with all the other guys who are also weird and XYZ and XYZ, right? And I took that seriously, right? And I took that as something that's like something that I should keep in mind, and that actually should deter me from speaking to this person further. And for me, retrospectively, like, I don't really get why I listen to them, or, the rumors or the gossip or whatever, instead of just regularly talking to this person, Now, I know why I didn't, of course, because I'm terribly, socially awkward, and, like, I'm totally ashamed of, like, what I look like and all this stuff, right? But for other people, like, I think this idea that you always have to support women and you always have to believe women has actually made it so that, like, we end conversations before they even begin, just so that we can appease, like, this one or however many women, instead of, like, actually talking to the person who has, like, maybe I'm just, if everybody understands me, let me know, but if you don't, like, I'll re-up this and I'll actually come with a script. What I am saying is that a man having a bad aura or a bad interaction, maybe with one woman who you know and you have talked to, or like other people know and have talked to, I don't know if that's necessarily, if it's right to write that person off, right? And then it's also like, why do I have to like morally grandstand and be so ethical about all my fucking relationships? Like, oh my God, it's so awful. Like, I'm so ethical with everything I fucking do. It's so awful. And so this whole thing just adds to that, right? Where I'm like, I have to be the most ethical, I have to be so, like, I have to be morally correct in, like, doing XYZ, you know? But, like, other women don't have this kind of reflexivity, or, like, this initial, like, idea of, like, okay, but, like, is this man who he says he is, XYZ, you know? But yeah, that's just been something I've been thinking about, because, yeah, it's just like, as someone who's not super assertive, when people tell me something about somebody, even if I like them and I could see something happening with us, like even just a situationship or whatever, I immediately go and I listen to that person, because I'm just like, and that's also a thing about it, probably for me, is that it's a lot easier for me to not put in all this effort just to maybe get rejected or have something, like, I have this terrible fear of men and their group chats, right? And like their male friends, like what they say about women to their male friends. And that, like, really scares me, because I find it very, like, the things that men say about women is just, like, downright disgusting, quite often. And so the thought of me being in the topic of a group chat or something like that, really, like, it makes me very, very uncomfortable. And so I would rather just avoid the pressure of that happening, or the possibility of that happening, than engage in it. Right? Or then to continue pursuing it. So I guess it's like maybe just like a me and my psychology kind of thing, like not to psychoanalyze myself or anything like that, but like I think that is the post-Me Too era has, especially because I was like on the woke side, 2018 and onwards, I was woke as fuck, right? Like, I was the wokest one in junior high and all this stuff, but I just, like, what was I saying? Sorry, I, like, lost my train of thought entirely. That's so crazy. This is, like, a bad podcast. Nobody listen. But, like, coming from the woke online culture, because famously also I'm both historically been woke and chronically online, right? Because where else did woke originate? Online, right? Basically. And so those two things intertwining has made it so that I am so completely aware of the surveillance state and what could be said about me, or what could happen to me if I were to disobey this kind of or break this social agreement between, you know, more woke women, that we will always believe women first. And that's just something that I deal with personally, right? A lot of people, a lot of women can look past that. Also because, like, a lot of women have not meaningfully engaged in feminist, like, discussions or feminist readings, anything of the sort. And also because, like, not a lot of women, like, not every single woman grew up woke as fuck, right? It's, like, it's a very specific category. Like, I remember talking in my feminist seminar class, like, one of my, I was gonna say comrades, girl, get a grip, one of my classmates brought up how women, actually the vast majority of women, would not consider themselves feminists. And I think about that, and I think about how, like, I grew up in a feminist household. My mother has always been a feminist. And, like, all my aunts, like, it's just, like, it's been, like, kind of the norm for me. But, like, it's not that case in other households. Like, my mom has talked about how one of her coworkers, who is 60 years old, still shaves her legs every single week or whatever. It's, like, still very often. I just, which isn't in and of itself, like, something that, like, is anti-feminist or whatever, but it's just, like, at a certain point, don't you get tired, right? Anyways, okay, I was just thinking about all of that, and thinking about, like, the lack of feminism in popular culture these days, because we are low-key kind of post-feminist as a culture, because we're post-humanist, or, like, post-human. Like, I would say that we're post-humanism, we're post-human, especially with the rise of AI and the, like, the accepting of it in popular culture by a great deal of people. Like, even in my, I'm a philosophy major and an English major, but, like, a lot of English majors, especially if they aren't, like, totally dedicated, they're just here to get a degree, they will be using AI. And, like, there will always be a, like, even in higher ed, like, we're getting people using AI. Like, my art history class, which I did just get into, I'm taking 6 classes this term so that I can have this art history class, but it just changed from the previous years that it's been taught to having a in-class exam, or like an in exam hall exam, right? Much unlike previous years when it was a take-home, So anyways, all that to say, like, we're in a post-feminist society because there are no women anymore. Like, the worker has been reduced to the worker, like a machine. It's been, like, we have been reduced to, not even people. We've been reduced to things that don't even think, now that we can offload that to ChatGPT and stuff like that, right? So, when I think about all that, and I think about, like, also this post-Me Too kind of, environment that we're facing, or whatever, I just kind of feel a certain kind of way about it. I don't know how to remedy this, or, like, get past the idea that I always must believe a woman, regardless of whether it's, like, a trivial or trite sort of thing that the woman is saying about the person that I'm interested in, or the person that I would like to be friends with, or XYZ, right? I don't know how to move past that. So, yeah, that's just what I've been thinking about recently. And it's been, like, kind of, like, long time, like, I've been just kind of ruminating on it. I don't have really anything else to say about it. It's just kind of been what I've been thinking about. 'Cause, yeah, I think I see it in my own life. And, yeah, anyways. But then also all of this could be bypassed just by saying, girl, you're not that into him anyways. Because if you're so easily swayed by the opinion of somebody, that may or may not be true, that means that, like, you weren't really into them anyways. And, like, I believe that is also a huge part of it, because I've never really been into anybody in, like, a serious and fundamental way. I just kind of don't have that kind of drive within me to get out there and figure it out. which is not great, and I would not recommend. But then also, it's like, I kind of, like, it's really hard for me to care, you know? Ugh, but it's, like, so bad, so I should really get on it. I'm back on Hinge, guys, but to what end? For, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Yeah. I was literally talking to my friend yesterday. Oh yeah, this concludes the post-feminist, post-Me Too rant about what happens to women themselves in the post-Me Too landscape. Now I'm gonna move on to personal topics. Sorry, not sorry. I still have little Pico on me. He's like sitting on me, getting his hair all over me. He's an orange cat, but he's actually very smart. What's she called? My neighbor was saying that he's actually such a smarty pants. She speaks Latin to him, and I don't speak Latin. Although I guess I should. Oh, he just sneezed on me. Although I guess I should maybe learn. But anyways, yeah, he's a very nice little kitty. Anyways, I was talking to my friend because I famously just deactivated my Instagram, right? So I was talking to my friend about that, like, I think yesterday or the day before, and she was like, so you reactivated Hinge, but you deactivated your Instagram, and I was like, yeah, I am a woman of many, many facets. Yeah, and also today, because I have a flip phone. If you don't know, I have the Cat 22 Flip. Shout out to that one. I've had it for, has it been 2 years? It's almost 2 years, because I got it at my birthday, 2023. Oh, fuck, that means it's been, no, 2024. Let me not lie. But yeah. And so, I have that flip phone, and I didn't know that today in class we were gonna be doing a Kahoot. Like, usually I bring my computer, but I just couldn't get it together today, because I actually posted a video earlier today, so if y'all want to check that out, you can. It's just a groom get ready with me, and my hair looks bomb as fuck in it. Like, I actually love my hair so much right now. I wish it wasn't like semi-perm and like doomed to fade, but c'est la vie. Nothing good can last. Desire is the root of all evil and suffering, or whatever. But yeah, I was doing my Kahoot on my fucking flip phone, and sometimes it's just like so funny, and so like it what's that called? There's like a philosophical term for, I think it was Heideggerian, where like something just jolts you back into like, oh fuck, it's like when you see something that's so out of place that you just have to stop and like you get pulled out of like your everyday routine. I think that was Heidegger. Like, yeah, you see like an artifact or something that just takes you out of your routine and just like makes you actually like look at the object, right? So that's what I kind of feel like about like my flip phone sometimes, because people love to like look at, like, when I still had Instagram, it would be really funny to pull up Reel on the flip phone, because it's just like such like a paradox and like a ironic like thing that like it would just be like a hoot and a holler, right? So that's how I felt about the Kahoot as well, because the Kahoot was like, it's just like, it's so unreal. It's like so ridiculous, right? Anyways, all that to say, whatever. I'm back on Hinge. I'm hopeful. I like, what else is new with me? Brockhampton, of course, I've been listening to so much. My roommate literally told me I had to turn it off yesterday when I was listening to it. I'm at 730 pages into Infinite Jest, so there's only about like 280 left, I think, more or less. So that's really big for me. Plus all the end notes, though. I have to get through that, so maybe more like 400. But that's okay. I'll get through it. yeah, writing my stuff for my conference this weekend. And I talked to my advisor today, and he cleared me. He was like, because he was actually the first advisor that I ever talked to at my school when I transferred in, because I just, like, I didn't know what I was doing, and it was just very, like, sudden and stressful, right, whatever. And he was the first guy that I talked to. He was very, very nice, and every single time I've taken a grade with him, he's artificially inflated my grade to such a degree that, like, it's almost, like, not fair. And I think that's because I have blonde hair and I talk to him and I am interested in his life, right? So maybe try, if you have an old professor, look into that. Okay. Anyways, talked to him today, and he cleared all of my stuff, so I'm probably graduating. Like, I'm actually, like, there is a possibility that this fucking happens, which is, like, so amazing. And, like, I really, like, graduating is obviously, like, especially for my family, is, like, a very, like, normal thing that we have to do, but it's still, like, I'm gonna be the first one in my immediate family and in my very close, like, bigger family to graduate from university, like, out of all the cousins and grandkids and whatever, right? So that's gonna be really cool and really exciting, and I'm just, like, I'm really happy that I managed to get it done, or, like, I'm almost getting it done. I'm in the home stretch, right? I have to write my thesis, and I have to get through 2 bullshit classes, philosophy classes that are both, like, kind of, like, they're both, like, aesthetics classes. One's just, like, a specialized, but it's critical theory, so it's, like, easy as hell. And yeah, I just have to get through a little bit, and then I'm free, and I just, like, I'm almost tearing up thinking about it, because it's, like, oh wow, like, I have, like, survived so much, you know, especially, like, yeah, like, I've been through the fucking ringer in my university degree, I would say, and yet I still have managed to have my honors degree, and I've still managed to get through it, mostly. Inshallah I finish. But, like, yeah, because, like, when I went to my first university, and that was all fun and good, but I didn't really have friends until midway through first semester, and that was, like, that's totally fine. I still, like, love all those girls that I knew back there. And then, yeah, in the second semester, or no, in the second year, when I was back for only a month, I dropped out, right, and I went to Europe for 2.5, 3 months, and I just kind of walked around there. And actually, my time in Europe was a very formative time for, like, various reasons, right? Like, I figured out that I really cannot do with, like, a proper normal cell phone, because otherwise I spend so much time on, like, I'm actually, like, you know, I can pick up and drop any, like, I can drop nicotine so easy. I've never really been into weed. Drinking is, like, it's fun, but it's not, like, something I have to do every day. It's, like, I've never been someone who had to rely on substances, but I think that I have had to rely on the internet and, like, being online and all this stuff, right? But I think Europe really showed me that, like, that's not a way to live, and I can never really, I don't think I should ever have in my possession a proper, like, phone. Sorry, I had to, there's a cat hair on me. That probably sounded awful. Anyways, so, like, I have this iPhone, but, like, the fact that I disabled my Instagram was really, really healthy for me. And the fact that, like, I don't allow myself to get Instagram on this phone except to post pictures and stories when I reactivate, and, like, whenever I reactivate. And, like, I don't allow myself to get Tumblr or Pinterest on my phone here. Like, I think that's really healthy, and I think that's a really good boundary for me to set with myself. Because otherwise, like, it is really just such an addiction. Like, you can't, like, it's so hard to break. I've said all the time, like, being chronically online, like, it's an addiction, and, like, I don't know if you can break it, but I'll be damned, I'm gonna be the first to figure it out and get out of here, you know? So, yeah. That's something that I learned from the Europe situation. I also learned in Europe, because I was 19, right? I was 19 and I was traveling alone, and I didn't really know much about, like, anything at all. Like, I've been to Europe once before when I was, in my grade 12 year, because I went with my family, like, right in the blip between Omicron and, like, or no, like, between regular COVID and Omicron, when everything was opening up, and then Omicron came back and, like, kicked us all out. I went with my family for 3 weeks, and it was, like, really, really nice, all that stuff, but, yeah, it was, like, it's a lot different to travel on your own, and also be traveling, like, in, like, different countries, right? Like, oh, like, I sound, like, so fucking annoying, but you know what I mean, right? Like, my cousin had done a Europe trip, but we didn't really talk about it all too much. Like, he just kind of said, oh yeah, I did X, Y, Z. He actually worked at a whole bunch of hostels when he was out there, which I didn't do, personally. But yeah, it was, really cool that way, like, having to figure things out. And, like, now I know what places I really, really love and would go back to, and what places I will never go back to, or, like, I would go back to only in a pinch, right? Like, I would never go back to Portugal, because Portugal was the only place in the entire, in all of Europe that I felt unsafe in. And, like, I was walking at night in the Balkans, like, you know, in fucking Spain. I was walking alone in Brussels at night, right? All this stuff, like, and nothing even compared to how scared and, like, uncomfortable I felt in Portugal, in Lisbon specifically. Actually, Lisbon, it was really bad. And even my mother, like, she commented, because she was there with me for a little bit, she was like, yeah, it kind of looks like it everybody is, like, looking at you as you walk. And she kind of theorized it was because of my, like, I had really blonde hair, but, like, it was just even something like that just made me so uncomfortable. And I could understand why the Muslim women, like, cover their hair, because, like, if you have, yeah, anyways, all that to say, Porto was actually beautiful, though. So if you're going to Portugal, I would skip Lisbon, go straight to Porto, and, like, just key on the beaches, if I'm being honest. But I personally would not like to go back to Portugal, right? Anyways, yeah, what else did I learn from my Europe trip? I think I became really, like, I really solidified, like, this idea that, like, I am, like, an intellectual spirit at heart. Like, I really do love the intellectual pursuits, and I like the being, like, whatever, like, a Renaissance man, or, you know, just, like, being familiar with a lot of these intelligentsia pursuits. Yeah, what else did I learn? I learned how to day drink, bitch. Oh, that was bomb.com. I'm so excited. I'm going back with my family in like, April and May. If my fucking, oh my goodness, if that final lands on the last day, I'm, like, killing myself, because my brother's in Germany for an exchange, but he has to leave the Schengen on May 2nd. So if I really would like to spend some time with him in Germany, and, like, be with my family in Germany, because that would be bomb.com, and also I can sort of speak it, so that would even be better. But, like, if in there, because if my exam is on the 30th, like, bitch, if I'm getting in there on, like, the 1st, the 2nd, maybe, and then, yeah, he's already gone. But anyways, whatever, right? It's totally fine. No harm, no foul. But yeah, so it's gonna be me and my dad. I don't know if I talked about this in previous apps. I don't really have, like, much, like, going on usually, so I, like, just kind of talk about the same things going on in my life. Yeah, anyways. What was I saying? Me and my dad are gonna go to Croatia and Greece, probably together, and then my older sister might drop in. My younger sister's going with my mom and my brother to, I think they're going to Ireland, because obviously that's outside of the Schengen, which is bomb.com for them. I might like to go out there, maybe just for, like, a week, but, like, me and my dad will be going down to Croatia and Vivil or Volin, Prague, Bezucht, and yeah, like, Prague and maybe Bratislava, because my dad actually taught out there back when it was the fucking Wild West in Czechoslovakia. He actually has a piece of the Berlin Wall, because he was there 6 months after it fell. So shout out my dad. That is literally, like, I'm framing that thing or something. Like, I don't know what's happening with that, but, like, something big is going to happen. And yeah. I'm, like, really excited. I was, like, planning out my outfits, like, this Christmas when I was back home. I was like, and I will be taking this skirt with me to Europe, so I might as well pack it now. But anyways, whatever. Yeah. I'm very excited. I love my family quite a bit. I spend a lot of time with my family, and we're all very close, which is why it would, like, be very hard. Like, I don't know if I would want to do my degree abroad, which is also something I've been considering. Oh, girl, let me tell you, I've been considering so much. I literally feel so fig tree right now. Like, everything is falling off the damn branch. But anyways, I'm, like, thinking I might go and teach for a year. Spain and Canada have a joint, like, agreement where you're allowed to go and teach there. Like, you get placed by the Spanish government in a school, and they actually pay, like, crazy well. Like, it's, like, baseline is 800 euros per month, and for me that's a lot, because I have never made, well, no, like, as a server you make 1200, right? But, like, as, like, I don't know, when you're here and you're, like, I've been a camp counselor at, like, a government job, mind you, government motherfucking job, but that still did not pay 1200, I don't think. Wait, let me think, actually. Let me not, like, wrong myself. But, like, it's literally 1200, or that's 1200 Canadian, sorry. Like, 800 euros is 1200 Canadian. So just write that down. But that's for, like, only, they're saying, like, 20-ish hours a week? Girl, come on, that's so much money. But maybe I'm also just, like, poor as shit, so I don't actually have any, like, real concept of money. I don't know. I really don't fucking know. But yeah, so I'm putting that on my docket. That would be so fun, because it starts in October, so I could go back home and I could stay there for 3 months, and then I could hop on a plane and fly all the way out to España, and teach for I think it's 8 months, because it goes until May, October to May, yeah, and they give you, like, money to go, or no, they don't give you money to fly back home, but, like, that would be okay. I don't need to. Actually, I've talked to some international students at my school, because my school has so many fucking international students, it's fucking crazy, but she was talking, and she's, like, British, so she would fly back to London, which is only, like, 8 hours, I think, maybe less, because Copenhagen is 8 hours, but I guess, like, it kind of depends on your schedule, whatever, you know, like, it's her prerogative, but, like, she didn't fly home for the reading week, and I was like, or no, the winter break, and I was like, oh my god, like, girl, so what have you been doing? And she was like, yeah, you know, I've just been resting out here. I'm like, yeah, girl, I guess, because she was like, it's just too much, like, you know, you lose a day either each way, just travel alone, which is totally fair enough, right? But I'm sure, like, London to Canada, like, you're gonna get a flight that, like, you could get a red eye, right? But no such luck, I guess, for her, and so she stayed here, and as an exchange student, yeah, shit's crazy. But anyways, what else have I been thinking about recently? I have to keep a German journal for my prof because I'm meeting with her, like, every week, because I didn't realize that I couldn't drop my fucking German class without losing the earlier credit that I got. But alack, whatever, I don't even care, right? So now I'm like, okay, it's time for me to boss up and actually, like, learn how to speak this fuck-ass language, you know, whatever, I'll figure it out. And so I met with my prof, and I was just like, hey, listen, I was thinking of dropping this class, and she was like, oh, why would you consider that? I was like, well, you know, based on my calcs, like, I have a B+ in this class, and, like, you know, like, I could do a lot better in other classes, and X, Y, Z, right? But I figured out I couldn't drop it, so it's whatever. And so, she was like, well, but, like, no, she didn't say anything, but then I was like, so I figured out I have to, like, stay in this class, so I just, like, really need some help, especially with my writing, because my writing is piss poor, like, to the point where I don't think you can make out a single legible word sometimes, like, it's so bad. Like, I don't fail any of the assignments, but because we have, like, essay writing assignments in my class, I don't think I fail it, but god damn, do I come fucking close, bro. Like, I think the highest mark that I've gotten on one is, like, I was gonna say, no, I won't say that, a 68, right? And then, yeah, so it's just, like, a whole thing. So, yeah, anyways, all that to say, I am keeping a journal for my German prof, and we're gonna go over it. And she said, you know, just focus on one thing at a time and focus on writing those sentences really well. I was like, okay, I can do this. Top 10 things I can do that, right? So I really want to get, like, a cute little journal for it, which I know is just, like, overconsumption as fuck, but it's, like, I don't want to keep it in, like, my personal journal because, like, we're going to be going over it together. And I probably have to double space and, like, make it so that it's easier for us to see this stuff, but yeah, it's just, like, a whole thing. Sorry, I hear, like, a lot of movement outside. I hope things are okay. I think it's fine. Sorry, I'm schizophrenic a little bit. I just also don't want to scare my roommate if he comes in here, because I didn't tell him that I was just keying in here. So yeah. Anyways. So that's what I have to do for my German class, which is boss as fuck, and I'm gonna do it. And you know what? 6 classes be damned. I'll do a little bit extra for German. Also, I got into a nice little groove last semester with German where I just cram the night before and the day before the test, and then I show up and I boss up and I do it, right? Now, I could get a lot more marks if I had good writing. So that's what I'm focusing on, right? Right. What else is new with me? My fucking, like, oh my god. Can I talk to y'all about something that's, like, so unwoke? Hashtag unwoke of me. Hashtag dark woke as fuck. Hashtag dirtbag left. Like, I fucking hate how much of philosophy classes or philosophical topics and whatever are based on lived experience. Oh my god. shut the fuck up. Oh, like, it's so aggravating. It's like, yeah, for me, like, because this was in my aesthetics class, art is, like, not necessarily, like, because we were talking about, okay, why am I doing, like, so many interjections? Sorry. So this was in my aesthetics class, and we were talking about the two dual meanings of catharsis. Now, there are actually 3 meanings of catharsis. I wrote a paper on this, Aristotelian catharsis also, even though we were discussing Plato. Right. Just, like, walk with me, right? I can't quite remember what the third type of catharsis was, because it's been like a year and a half, but alack. There are 3 different types. And so there's one where your emotions are clarified and you're able to, like, expunge them in, like, a safe area, right? Or, like, so that's number 1. That clarification, is, more spiritual, I would say. And then there's also, although Aristotle famously not spiritual, maybe at all. And then there's also this idea of catharsis as a purging of your emotions, right? Now, I agree with the purging notion a lot more than I agree with the clarification definition. Because I think that the purging, it's actually like almost like an idea of bloodletting, as far as I remember. So, like, if you think about bloodletting as, like, taking out all the toxins and stuff from your blood, like, like leeches on you and whatever, then I think you get to the purging notion a lot easier, or, like, you see it a lot better. That's just kind of how I remember the purging definition of catharsis, or translation of catharsis. But yeah, anyways, in this aesthetics class, this guy was like, oh yeah, like, because our fucking prof literally asked the question, so which one do you guys agree more with? He's not a prof, let me not say that. He's a grad student. He's a nice grad student, and he's hot, so I give him a pass. He was my logic guy, but yeah. This is, like, terrifying. Sorry, there's, like, people outside. I'm, like, really scared. But yeah. I'm like, sorry guys, I just got terrified by the noises outside, in my building, since I am in my neighbor's spot. Anyways, so as I was saying, yeah, whatever, this, grad student, he's like, whatever, and so this one guy goes, yeah, I think I agree with the purging more so when I'm, like, making art, and then maybe, like, the clarifying when I'm looking at art. And I was like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Oh my God. It's just, like, it's so aggravating. Like, stop being hippy-dippy in my fucking philosophy class. Oh my God. And mind you, I come to you live wearing moccasins. Wearing leather moccasins, beaded as fuck. My mother bought these, like, 30 years ago in High River or whatever. When she was a tree planter. But anyways, okay. Anyways. Yeah, a lot of lived experience. And then in my other aesthetics class, my critical theory aesthetics class, this girl goes, oh yeah, like, I see this a lot in classical music, like, I'm classically vocally trained. I'm taking vocal here at this school, and I see this a lot in who gets to be a classical musician and who doesn't, or what is considered a classic and what isn't. And I was literally like, shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a shit about your lived experience. Nobody gives a shit about, like, oh yeah, this applies in this place. Bring something theoretically interesting. Oh my God. I don't care about your life. Can I say that? Can I say that in a fucking class? I don't care about your life. Give me a break. I want you to give me something theoretically interesting and to not make me want to shoot my brains out when you're being cringe. Oh, it's just awful. Yeah, like, that was something that, like, there were a few people in my, because I took a feminist theory class, grad class, last semester, right? I think I talked about it before. But, in that class, there was a little bit of lived experience stuff, you know, like a little bit. But because it was more focused on, like, law and theory, because we were discussing pornography as silencing. So it's a lot of, like, you know, speech acts theory and epistemic violence theories and stuff like that, right? So when it comes to all of that, like, there's not a lot of space for lived experience insofar as we are discussing silencing as it applies to a general group of people. Because famously, Dworkin and McKinnon filed this law that said that pornography silences all women, right? So what was I saying? So, like, there's not a lot of space for lived experience. But damn did some bitches try. Damn did some fucking bitches try. Oh my god, it's just like, it's lame as hell. It's lame. And we need to get jobs. We need to get lives. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sick and tired of lived experience stuff. And I think that's kind of why I'm not going to be pursuing the current thesis topic that I'm writing about in higher level school, like higher level graduate school or anything like that. I think it would be really fun to do second wave feminist literature on love and then compare that to Augustine conception of love, and who else was I gonna fucking shoot me in the head? I can't even remember who else I wanted to do on love for. But, like, you know, I think that would be more so my speed, because I think that would be a much richer thing that I could go through, and then I wouldn't have to deal with all this fucking feminist theory, lived experience bullshit. Like, lived experience is good in consciousness raising groups, but bitch, we are so aware. Y'all are about to be really aware, and it's just some girl saying the exact same thing that I've known, and we've all known for eons. Like, all women know, and I think that if you're in a women majority class, please don't use lived experience bullshit. If you're in, like, a aesthetics class or an art class of, you know, like, aesthetics is just, like, what is art and what makes a good piece of art or whatever. Like, just shut the fuck up and read Plato, please. Oh my gosh. I kind of agree with Plato. I don't think that poets should be allowed into the kingdom. Kingdom of heaven. What the fuck? Into the republic. Like, I think he's right. Like, there's this, to me, I was just thinking about this earlier today, and I can't quite articulate it really well, also because I've, like, lost my train of thought again. See, this is what happens when you don't sleep enough, because there is some kind of alarm that goes off in your alleyway at all times, and it just, like, drives you up the wall, and it wakes you up, and it's just, like, this high-pitched, like, kind of something of that sort, right? This is what happens, is you can't remember the theoretical claims that you were making about Plato and the place of art. Oh, here's what I was thinking about. So, there are things that I don't do because I don't want to seem like I am trying too hard, or I'm, like, trying to be something I'm not, right? Like, famously, Gen Z is very obsessed with this idea of authenticity. So sometimes, like, I look out the window when I'm on the bus because I don't have a phone and I just listen to music. Sometimes I'll have a book, and actually I'm, like, planning on bringing my George Grant book because I really want to read that. in short order. But I was just thinking about, like, if somebody saw me right now, they might think that I'm, like, that I'm pretending that I'm in a movie and I'm, like, staring wistfully out the window, right? Like, in books, like, staring wistfully out the window or whatever. Like, I'm trying to be something that I'm not, clearly. Like, I'm a person in reality. I'm not a character in a book. And so sometimes I get that kind of reflective view of myself where I'm like, I look like I'm doing something that I'm not, or maybe, like, to a certain person, a certain malicious and, like, irony poisoned person, I might look like I am being, like, I'm trying to be so deep or something or other, right? And I think that like, sometimes gives me some real pause, because I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, somebody could be perceiving me in this way that I don't want to be perceived, and that is like, sometimes that's just the way it goes, right? But, like, whatever. But so I was thinking about that in reference to Plato and his disagreement with having artists in the Republic, right? Because he says, like, it promotes this fantastical worldview, and it promotes this idea that, like, or, like, it leads to irrationality, whatever. And I was thinking about how, like, when I was younger, I didn't actually, like, feel this need to rebel against my parents. Like, I've never been somebody who, like, really, like, needed to rebel against my mom or my dad, or, or beef with my siblings or whatever, I've always just kind of been like, whatever. But, like, at the times when I would beef with my parents or whatever, it was always because I felt like it was obligatory, because of all the television and the media that I consumed that said that, rebelling against your parents is very typical for teenagers. And I don't know if that's necessarily, like, the entirety of it, but I remember making conscious choices, like, being like, okay, this is, like, not that deep, but then knowing full well that I was going to make it deep. I was going to make it, like, a problem for everybody, right? Like, this one time my brother, like, called me, like, fat, which is, like, whatever. And he was doing it in a joking way. Like, he didn't actually believe it. And I, like, got so, like, mad and like, pissed off. But, like, I remember, like, making the actual physical decision to be mad at him. Right? So I don't know if anybody else kind of gets that. But I do see where Plato's coming from. And I think that, in the same way as pornography, right? Like, pornography does promote these violent behaviors in men, and it promotes this docile and subordinating attitude in women, right? And, like, how can we say that that is not irrational? It's irrational. It's a lot of social construction of reality that we're living with, right? But, like, it doesn't have to be that way, right? And the reason why we see it that way is because of fiction, and it's because of this, I'm doing air quotes around the word art, or these interpretations of reality, right? These distortions of reality, if you like. But yeah, that's just my thought on it. Like, I think that Plato is right in one respect, but then also in other respects, like, fiction is what we stay alive for, right? That's what they all say. And I like fiction. Like, I like reading Infinite Jest. I like reading, I read The Idiot, and I've read, like, Michael Ondaatje books and poetry. Like, I love poetry, right? Like, I love, Ezra Pound, and I love, what's that woman's name? Oh, bitch, I can't remember it for the life of me. Elizabeth Bishop. I love her poems. And Louise Gluck and Wisława Szymborska. I love all these things, and I love fiction, and I love to read it, and it's really healthy, and it's really good. But I think that we do need to be wary about what kinds of fiction we are consuming, right? But all that to say, like, you know, why would you listen to me? And also, like, I'm dumb as hell anyways. I just, like, wax poetics about nothing for, like, a full hour. But alas. I think I'm going to wrap it up here because this was a good discussion. And I think little Pico is getting a little bit tired. Oh, he's on the move. He's on the prowl. Oh, his food's coming out. He has an automatic feeder. I don't know. Did y'all hear that? It was like a huge rumbling. Yeah, he just got his food. So, yeah. I hope that everybody has a wonderful and blessed day. Stay blessed. Don't get pressed. And stay hard to kill. Of course. Love y'all. And TTYL.